So actually UF is working with farmers on trying to figure out a way to produce this carinata and get some processing facilities put together so that, you know, it's a biofuel for, you know, jets specifically, but that doesn't, the issue with biofuels lately is that they're, you know, it's corn-based, and corn's also a food product, so there's this kind of conflict between, you know, using it for fuel or using it for food, and, you know, whether we want to choose. So carinata is a good one because it's not a food crop. So that's mostly the commercial side. On the residential side, I do a lot of talking about what we call Florida-friendly landscaping. I have some brochures here that go over these 9 principles. So, as many of us can guess, landscaping can have some impact on the environment, right? So in the first place, we're going into nature, and we're cutting it down, we're building our home, we're planting our lawns, our driveways, our sheds, whatever it might be. You know, we're going into into wildlife's habitat, and so a lot of times I'm telling people, you know, the least we can do is think about the environment when we're, you know, maintaining our lawns, designing our lawns to give back a little bit. And so, you know, that means creating a little bit of wildlife value in your yard. So who enjoys seeing birds and butterflies and frogs and dragonflies in your yard? Yeah, right, we all love it. I mean, everyone, who's got a bird feeder? Kind of by the windows you can see. Who's got hummingbirds right now going through their yard? Yeah, it's great, right? You know, when I got this job, I told the folks I wanted to help connect folks back to being outside and know what plants are, because us humans really get a lot of benefit from being outdoors, being around plants, and there's research that, you know, agrees and that backs this up. So in a hospital setting, if they took the same patients with the same condition, they were on the same kind of, medical process, you know, the same kind of drugs and everything else. One group was looking at a concrete courtyard, and the other group was looking out to a park. And what they found was that the folks that were looking out to the park needed less pain medication and got out of the hospital quicker than if they were just, you know, staring into a cityscape or something like that. Yes, sir?
Along these lines of landscaping your yard to help bring in the wildlife, I apparently have done that because the deer.
The wrong wildlife?
Yeah, the deer have eaten every bit of my roses. Is there something I can plant to keep those damn things out of my yard?
Probably not. We do have, so one thing that, before you go, if you have questions that I can't answer, or if you leave with some questions, or you might come up with some questions, just little insects on your plants, you know, don't assume that they're doing something bad in your landscape. A lot of times they're eating other pests that are a problem in your landscape. So, you know, ladybugs, everyone knows ladybugs are good to have around, but they're larval stage, they're immature ladybugs. They look like this really weird critter that you would not want on your garden plants. And so some people might mistake that as a pest and want to go spray it with something, and they're doing themselves a disservice there, because, you know, there's no need to spray that product. That insect was actually going to end up helping them in the long run. So trying to teach people and making sure that they're using these things appropriately, because, again, you hear in the news, bees are in decline, monarch butterflies are in decline. The impacts to human health aren't even quite totally understood with all the, you know, the pesticides that are that are being put in the environment. So we want to make sure people are using them correctly, because there's no need to use these things. Next month, I believe we're going to do a weed ID and control, but you know, there's different life cycles. So what we do is we'll ID your weed for you, and then we help you figure out a plan for that specific weed. That is one that is an annual, so it comes back every year from seed. So you can use what's called pre-emergent herbicides, which is an herbicide you put down, you water it in, and it kills them as they're sprouting. Once you see them, oftentimes these pre-emergents don't work, and you have to use another type of product that could hurt your grass. So, you know, if you have a weed issue, you can send us pictures, you can bring it in, and we'll help you figure out ways to get rid of it without hurting your grass, and making sure you follow all the label directions, make sure you don't harm the environment. But that one's a pain, and the tricky part with the chamber bitter is it sprouts much later than all the other stuff. We got chamber bitter, we got spurge, we got nutsedge. Nutsedge is another terrible weed. So, you know, everyone's dealing with that weed right now, so don't feel too bad. A lot of times I tell folks my office is almost like a therapist office, where I have to sit them down in the chair and tell them that there's no really quick fix to the problem, you know, especially sod. A lot of times they come in with browning sod, and turf is one that you want to take care of your turf all year long, mowing it properly. That's the biggest, you know, mistake I see is people mowing their grass too short. And if you do that time after time, you're stressing out your grass, and it's just bound to get a fungal problem. So a lot of times I sit them down, and like, you know, there's no really way to fix this right away. You just need to take care of your lawn all year long, and you know, got to kind of soothe it out.
Well, I had called, years ago, I called an extension agent, and they transferred me to a test farm over in Monticello, near Monticello. And they had agricultural specialists over there, and they said that you can't find any pesticide or anything to kill this what they call philanthus. And they said that you can kill it back, knock it back for 3 or 4 months, but it'll come right back.
Well, what we would need to do, we got to make sure we're talking about the same weed first.
Yeah.
So, you know, bring in a sample, send us a picture, and we'll have to try to help you figure it out. Now, who's the most famous extension agent?
Paul.
I'm not an agent. No, Green Acres. Y'all remember Green Acres? Yeah, he was an extension agent.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, I want to say this is the most we've talked about weed that didn't involve medicinal marijuana.
Oh,
I'm sure you can. I'm gonna say it's a big issue.
the next thing is hemp, industrial hemp.
Got to make developments and roads.
That's right.
All right, let me provide you with a small memento of having been here. It's a good coffee cup. Some coffee cups are better about keeping your coffee warm. This taste is, I'm not gonna say it's the best, but it's a good one. Right?
It tastes better than
It's a good one.
All right, well, thank you for having me, John.